Good afternoon, everyone. Oh my God. Alexi Brooks, a Filipino environmental advocate, once said, "Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, we may come from different nations, but we share the same mother, and that is Mother Earth. And today, she is asking for help." Her cry for help could be seen in climate disasters such as the legendary Super Typhoon Haiyan that devastated the Philippines on November 8, 2013. 13 years ago, I was working in a clinical laboratory in the city of Bacolod, a beautiful city with a middle-income economy when Typhoon Haiyan struck the Philippines. Through the glass walls of the laboratory, my colleagues and I saw people running in the streets, frightened and confused. Moments later, my boss called and told us to close the laboratory and go home for safety. I was walking on the streets of the city alone, and there was no public transportation, and business establishments had already closed. Fortunately, I was able to ride a jeepney that happened to pass by. On my way home, I could barely see anything because of the thick, pouring rain. At a wind speed of 235 miles per hour, you could see the branches and pieces of roofing that were flying everywhere. After an hour of extreme weather conditions, the aftermath was devastating. Bodies were everywhere. Families were displaced, trees were uprooted, homes were destroyed, and infrastructure was severely damaged. But what stayed with me was not only the disaster, it was what happened after. Aid came from around the world, yet I saw large gaps between the assistance that was promised and the help that actually came to the people. You can see food and clothes donated from the US and other countries reached the houses, not of the people, but the top local government officials. And those donations were sold to the people. One clear illustration was the donation of canned goods from the US, such as Spam, a pretty normal food in the US but a delicacy in the Philippines, was kept by the people in power. They later replaced the highly desired Spam with meatloaf from China and sold it to the victims of the typhoon. Everyone saw it, but nothing was done. That was the moment when climate stopped being only an environmental issue for me. It became a justice issue. Something really needs to be done about a failing governance system. And this pushed me to join public service as an auditor for the Philippine government, because I wanted to help improve governance systems that affects the lives of ordinary Filipinos and try to thwart corruption. However, I saw another dangerous and silent problem: the lack of capacity. Many institutions have good climate goals, but not always the skills, controls, and systems needed to implement them effectively. My turning point came when I realized that protecting the planet is not only done in forests, oceans, or disaster zones. It is also done in boardrooms, reports, investment decisions, procurement systems, and banking institutions. Every peso, every dollar, every policy, and every financial decision can either protect or destroy the future. I could have continued my career as a medical technologist. I could have gone abroad, earned more, and chosen a more comfortable path. But I chose public service and climate-related work because it gives me a deeper sense of purpose. It allows me to help build systems that are not only efficient, but also ethical, inclusive, and sustainable. Today, as an auditor for the Development Bank of the Philippines, I remain committed because I believe sustainable finance must also be accountable finance. Through my graduate studies in international business law at the Asian Institute of Management, my team and I are working on a climate finance project entitled Leveraging Carbon Credits for Sovereign Debt for Climate Swaps, which is meant to lower the sovereign debt of the country through debt forgiveness and realigning the funds to renewable energy infrastructure meant to increase energy supply in rural areas and lower carbon emissions. Climate programs must not only reduce emissions, they must also protect the people, prevent misuse of public resources, and reach the communities that need them the most. That is why I'm here at Beahrs Environmental Leadership Program to strengthen my capacity to help design climate solutions that are technically sound, financially sustainable, and grounded in justice. My call to fellow environmental professionals and climate advocates is this: let us work for climate solutions that do not only protect the planet, but also protect the people from corruption, exclusion, and institutional failure. Because the future we are fighting for must be both sustainable and just. Thank you.